Every vision board hides a villain, the obstacle we refuse to name. For years, I avoided a tough conversation with a business partner. The partnership was fracturing. The tension was obvious, but I told myself, not now. Let's stay focused on growth. For 12 months, I watched opportunities slip away because the partnership couldn't hold the weight. Later, when I tried introducing structure into one of my teams, they pushed back hard, called it bureaucracy. I thought I'd failed until I realized something important. Resistance isn't opposition, it's information. It was showing me exactly where the system was weak. Vision boards assume the universe will cooperate, but every goal meets turbulence, and that turbulence carries data. That's the law of predictive resistance, and it transforms how you navigate friction. In physics, there is a principle called drag coefficient. Every object moving through air encounters resistance. The shape, the speed, the surface all create friction. The faster you go, the more resistance you feel. Engineers don't eliminate drag, they design for it. They model it before takeoff. They build wings that anticipate wind. In business, the same principle governs change. When you predict resistance, you can pre engineer your response. Here's the law: resistance is predictable. When you script your response, interference collapses. Anticipate friction and pre commit your counterforce. Or reactivity becomes your operating system. That's the law of predictive resistance. Dr. Gabrielle Oettingen at NYU spent 20 years studying goals. She found that people who made their obstacle in advance increased success rates by 40%, not by ignoring the problem, but by naming it. And Stanford research found the same pattern. Founders who rehearse resistance scenarios respond 2.3 times faster than those who react in real time. Your Ferrari doesn't avoid turbulence, it's designed to fly through it. When you model drag, flight becomes predictable. This is why vision boards can be dangerous for experienced leaders. They celebrate the fantasy and ignore the friction. You visualize the outcome, you feel the success, and then reality hits and you're unprepared. Vision boards assume a smooth path. Physics says turbulence is guaranteed. If you don't design for resistance, resistance designs your breakdown. The shift isn't to think positive, it's to plan for the negative. Instead of asking what could go right, ask what will go wrong and how will I respond. Don't fear friction, engineer for it. When you script your response ahead of time, chaos becomes navigation. That's how scaling stops feeling like firefighting and starts feeling like flight control. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. Hari Padmanabhan was integrating 40 acquisitions at 3i Infotech, 40 companies, 40 cultures, one massive migraine. Most leaders would pray for smooth integration. Hari did the opposite. When we met, I asked, if turbulence is inevitable, why not design the wings for it? He built a command center tracking where resistance appeared, who, when, and why. He didn't hope for compliance. He modeled resistance before it showed up and scripted the response. 2 years later, revenue tripled from $100 million to $300 million. Hari proved what the research already showed. Name the obstacle and you cut failure in half before it starts. He didn't fight friction, he learned from it. What Hari discovered wasn't resilience, it was anticipation, a rhythm that turned friction into feedback. That's what velocity looks like when turbulence becomes data instead of drama. You're not blocked by obstacles. You're blocked by refusing to face them. Every goal on your vision board will meet resistance. Your team doesn't fear change, they fear surprise. And when they see you avoiding hard conversations, pretending the road will be smooth, they quietly lose trust. Freedom doesn't come from avoiding problems, it comes from designing for them before they arrive. Let me ask you two questions. One, What obstacle on your current path are you still refusing to name? 2. When your Ferrari hits turbulence, do you panic or adjust the wings? How far could you go if you designed for resistance instead of avoiding it? That's the 10th law, predictive resistance. And here's what happens once you start planning for friction. Predicting resistance creates stability, but sustaining it, that takes rhythm. That's the next evolution, the law of momentum integrity, where consistency beats intensity every time. Let's take a moment with this. There are Santa Claus, vision boards, plus blind faith, plus wishful thinking, all waiting for magic. This is where most of us still get stuck, waiting for something outside of us to move what only action can move. So look at the questions on the screen. Where are you passively waiting for magic instead of taking massive action? And as you reflect on this law, think about where that pattern shows up for you. Take a minute each to share with your partner what comes up.